the diocese in Pittsburgh, and he was always like, "Let me do an exorcism, let me," and it's not my goal in any way, to be honest with you. And he had to leave because eventually we had such different paradigms of what should be and what shouldn't be, that his entire mission was to stop everything paranormal, and mine, and I'm kind of the flip side. I really like surfing around in it. So with this building, you guys can do anything you want, basically. Go, if a door's open, feel free to go in and explore, take pictures anywhere you want. I'm fascinated with everyone's stories, so afterward, if you want to write up something, I post them. I love posting photos. There's one guy here tonight who stayed in the canopy room one night, and he got this photo, the copy of it's in the canopy room, where it looks like there's a woman standing behind him, and at first I got chills, and then I thought, wait, did he Photoshop this? Because you can set me up, and I don't know if you're being honest or not, but he says he didn't, and it's pretty, people look at the photo, and it's pretty dramatic seeming. There has been a couple ghost hunting teams here that were kind of cheesy, and I started to lose interest in that. And around 2008, 2007, I started saying no to teams, because some of the teams that came in here, they were like, will you lie on camera, will you perform, will you, and they wanted me to act. It was like real important that I seemed like I was scared and that they were rescuing me. And I just got sick of it, because my main goal was not ghost hunting. I moved here for the arts and film stuff. But I love it, and it's been a great addition. And so things have sort of come back around in a cool way. And I like the new teams that have been coming here, and I like the energy, and so I love that you guys are all here. It's great energy, and I found that Airbnb is brand new to me, and it's been great. It's brought all kinds of new people in the building, and they've been fascinating, their stories themselves, and very appreciative, and it's only adding to the swirl of whatever's going on here. A couple quick stories I'll say real fast. I don't know if it'll affect your evening, but it might. That door in 1949, there was an unsolved murder. A guy came in, that used to be the entry to the bar, and a guy came in here, and he was kind of not a policeman, but he was a bit of an officer. And they had rations for meat that year, where they ration gas like every other day. You can buy gas sometimes now, and people were selling illegal meat in this bar, and he busted them, and they murdered him over it. And the bartender was told, this is the story I heard, that you'll get the same if you repeat it. And so that never was solved. And his family lives about a block away, and they've come and gave me a photograph of the guy, and his name was Stan Staslowski, something like that. And so anyway, that never was solved. And the coroner case was re-examining it around 2005. They didn't think they were going to solve it, but just for the family's sake, they were like, tell us who killed our grandfather already. Like figured out. So that happened in the back door, and recently a team of American Indians came from Pittsburgh, and they did a ghost hunt here, and it was the best one I've ever seen. It was fascinating, and they didn't just get an EVP. They had like 20 minutes of conversation going on. It sounded like an older, brutal man and a little kid, and it was so good. I thought, they got to be setting me up, but they were strangers. They had no reason to go. I mean, it was really fascinating. And when they had a computer hooked up to this back corner of a screen that had dots that would show electrical movement. I don't know what exactly the app they were using, but it had a loop. It looked like of someone beating another person over and over and over again. And so that was going on for a while. And again, I really liked that group a lot. They were pretty interesting. So to take it lower, a floor beneath you is our basement. And, it's muddy down there. It's a low ceiling with cobwebs. I don't take people down there just because it's just so filthy, but it really looks like a dungeon down there. And the family that sold us the place, the Timko family, they said after they sold us, they said, "Can we tell them now?" And they said, "We have a family member buried in the basement. Long ago, the way they used to bury people on farms and things sometimes. Well, somebody, there's something like a child was dropped or something, and they buried them in the basement. So there's this child, at least one person anyway. Chip Coffey was here, and he said that the psychic from the show Psychic Kids, he said that he thought there were two people here. A woman was buried down there as well. But we have a relationship, it seems like, with a child buried in the basement. A lot of women that come here have more experiences or more clarity about their experiences. And I'm always hearing about a child story. People are cleaning here. Girlfriends in the past say like they're cleaning and they see like the curtain, the door. We used to have the curtains instead of doors for a while. The curtain would move like 3 feet and below. It seemed like a person in the room, and women have been sleeping, and they say that I swear a child crawled up and napped on me. The most dramatic story was our first year here. A good friend of mine was up on the 3rd floor, and we were all downstairs at a barbecue. We heard her screaming, and everyone's always kind of goofing on each other, so screams are real common. Everyone laughed, but then she kept screaming and kept screaming. It sounded, we realized something really bad was happening. So we all run upstairs, and she was on the floor, had completely lost control of her body, and she was took about 10 minutes to finally calm down. This was on the 3rd floor, right in front of the right in the top of the stairs on the 3rd floor, and she was very embarrassed because the whole party was looking at her. But she said that she had turned on a lamp, and she got shocked that the electricity. So she was in that space of like buzz, 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 buzz. And as she turned, she said that she saw a little kid, a dead child, in front of her screaming at her. And she just completely lost it. And she could not regain composure. And she was so real, it seemed. I mean, I don't think she was faking it. But it was so loud and so long that the police actually came. The neighbors called the police on us. So we're all standing out here, and the door opens, and 2 policemen come in. And they're like, we have a report of a woman screaming. And all we said was, oh, someone saw a ghost. And they were like, okay. And they left. They didn't like check it out or anything. They just took our word for it and they left. So, let's see. Body in the basement, back door. What's another story? Man in the hall, 2nd floor hallway. A couple teams in the past have said they saw a man in the hall. Like I've left them alone in the building, and they said, who's the guy, the older man? And there's not an older man. And that happened to 2 different roommates of mine who lived here, where one time this girl was moving in from UPJ, and I came home and I found her out on the porch, and she was terrified. And she said, there's a man in the hall. And I hadn't told her that story yet, and there was no man in the building, of course, but people, that's a visual. I haven't seen a lot of visuals, to be honest with you, here in the building. My experience has been more touch or sound, but that's one visual that several people have had. The canopy room, I don't know what's going on in that room. There's several, like, people that come in there, they're like, there's several things simultaneously. That there's something about the room that has like a stain of very negative energy. There's the furniture came from another source that has a fucked up source, some of the furniture, and so I think that brings something to it. The dolls, another source. That nun statue turns up in people's dreams, not necessarily negative, but still kind of creepy, like talking to people. And my friend Tom, Chef Tom, he's a local chef. He had a dream that the nun said, don't be scared here. This place is just a way station for ghosts, is what she said to him. And he woke up and his leg was hurting him. And he opened his eyes and put his camera phone light on, and he had 3 lines carved into his leg. And he took a picture of it and went back to sleep. And the next day, he like kind of was like, wait a minute, there's something wrong with my leg. And can't explain it, I don't know. One time, my ex-girlfriend, she has a little boy. This was just about a year ago. We woke up because we heard him screaming. Milo was like, Mom, Mom, Mom. And we both sat up, and then I said, oh wait, it's not your night for him. He's in Pittsburgh. And we went back to sleep. And the next day we were like, wait a minute, but we both heard it. We both woke up thinking we were hearing a little child screaming in the hallway. Can't explain it. Another time I was in my room, which is the front room on the 2nd floor, and there was one other guy in the building, and he came downstairs and he said, I'm going to go get coffee. And I heard him marching up and down the hallway. We didn't have carpets back then, and it was weird. He just the whole stretch of the hall, back forth. For like 10 minutes, I was listening to him out there, and then the front door opened, and George came in with his coffee, and I'd been alone the whole time, listening to these footsteps, complete clarity, thinking I was listening to him, but he wasn't even in the building. I'd say about once a month there's like a good one, like something like that, where something feels like something's going on here, and about once a month it seems like that. Just about, I don't know, I'd say like 2/3 of the guests that come here have some story. I have no way of telling if they're faking it or if they've arrived and they're projecting it, but I hear stories pretty consistently, especially about the canopy room. That just about every 9 out of 10 times someone goes in that room or gets a thump or something on them. I hear that an awful lot. 3rd floor, besides that little girl, I hear stories about black wisps, is what I've called it. That's an expression other people have used as well. I woke up one time in the middle of the night, my dog was, I had a big dog back then, he was staring at something in the corner. I was looking and I could see it looked like kind of wisps going on in the corner. And other people on the 3rd floor have said that similar stories to me, that they see like something sort of like cloudy floating around. The place went silent about 2 years ago. It just dried up, and I didn't know if that happens to haunted houses or not, but our place absolutely did, and I could feel I'm very acclimated to the place now, having been here 15 years, and ghost hunting teams would ask to come here, and I would just say, I wouldn't explain it, I just say, I'm not into it right now. But I just knew they weren't going to find anything. It just, the place did not have any activity going on whatsoever. And then just before, we were playing with Ouija boards a lot. And I'm not a Ouija guy, but this might have been what kicked it in. But it was the middle of winter about a year ago, and the place just kicked back in, and things just started happening again. And that was around, right after that, that's when we did the Ouija board on the roof as well. And for about 6 months, it was pretty crazy. Neat, but crazy. Quite a few things. My girlfriend at the time, she thought I came in the room and I was like hovering over her, and then I just vanished. She ran out of the room screaming because she realized I wasn't even in the room, and things like that, where they were pretty strong imagery. The dreams she was having were overwhelming. Her week, a lot of activity in the kitchen at that time, but there's not now. But for a while, the kitchen was like, we had a little dog in the building, and the dog would not go in the kitchen. Her son would cry and scream about going in the kitchen for whatever reason. And then my ex had all these dreams about the kitchen screaming at her, like too many voices she'd wake up saying in the kitchen. And it seems like there's stuff that sort of shifts around the building. Like if we were all to hang out in one section of the building, then things would end up in another part of the building. For me, in terms of crowds coming consistently, it's been like if we have a big party on a Saturday night and there's a lot of people here, Sunday is when we had the most activity. Sunday evenings, it seems like, where it feels like things kind of like get pushed into the woodwork, and then this is just my own sensation. I don't know if this is what's going on, but it seems like things gotta get pushed into the woodwork, and then after everyone leaves, they fall back out. And so that's when I tend to hear the most stories after a big crowd has left. So tonight, I don't know what you're going to encounter, but it might be later that things, if they were to continue to happen that way, where you see things more than right in the beginning. Okay, that's the gist of it anyway. There's a bunch of other wacky stories. Like they found bone chips in the wall in the monkey room. Someone brought a cadaver dog here, and she wasn't in paranormal, she was in police investigation, and she pulled out these, looked like little dimes, like white dimes. She's like, these are human bone in your wall. Not a lot, but a little bit. In the basement, there was a lot of bones in the wall, but none of them were human. Like we had a lot of bones, and we asked someone back in the like, why would there be all these animal bones in our wall? And they said that you couldn't eat meat on Fridays and throw the stuff out on Saturdays, so people would eat meat in the basement and then just jam the bones in the mortar back in the day to not get busted for eating meat every day of the weekend. That was the explanation I was given anyway. The family that sold the place never talks about hauntings. The Timko family, they were in the arts also, and they don't have any ghost stories whatsoever. I think they're actually uncomfortable with it. The idea that me making all this so public. So maybe they have some stories they just don't. They just didn't want to tell them. When we first moved here, the mayor of the town, Art Palumbo, had a meeting with us, an official meeting, and he said, "You're not allowed to talk about ghosts. That if you guys go to the press or anything like that." The most you can call it is folklore. We don't want to be associated with ghosts here, and you might have some ghosts. We don't want to confirm anything for you, but we don't want you to mention ghosts to the media. And we were thinking, we're the wrong people because we're going to bring TV shows here and everything. And,
he's interviewed by the TV station.
And Art was wonderful. Like he put in our toilet and all kinds. He like really took us in as family when we first moved here because we didn't know anyone. But you're a family now too. You're in the building. Make yourself at home in any way, anything to make yourself comfortable. And feel free to go anywhere where a door is open and take pictures of anything you want. I don't care, whatever. That's what the place is here for. So.
All right, Blair, I'm going to steal the show from you.
Very good.
All right, Blair introduced. That's Blair. We're members of both the S.C.A.R.E team of Pennsylvania and the Johnstown Somerset Paranormal. That's Paul back there. He and his wife, and there's another person, correct, on your team?
Yeah, Heidi.
Heidi? Okay. Yeah.
They're over at the
museum tonight. As for the S.C.A.R.E team here, this is Dave Olga. He and his wife Jessica are here. Dave is one of our tech managers. We've got Brandon back here. He just assists us every now and again. He was official and then goes and gets one of those big boy real world jobs and gets too busy. You know. I'm Sarah. I'm basically the loudmouth of the group. Up at the museum, we have Beth and Josh Hutcherson. They are our co-founders and our boss people. So, well, we give them crap, but we report to them anyways. So Paul's wife is up there, and Brandon's wife, Harmony, is up there helping us out tonight, too. And, man, what's Amanda's last name again? I'm sorry, Amanda, I forgot your last name if you see this. She's also up there helping out. Tonight we also have three psychics actually, two official and one that's going to help us anyways, just because she got nominated for the job. First we have Miss Renee Grush. She is going to be on a team with Paul, Dave, and Brandon. They will be forming one of the teams. They're going to start out tonight up on floor 3. Then with my team, I've got Jessica going to help me out with my Facebook Live here. I've got Jamie hiding out in the back there. She's going to be my light worker psychic. And also Michelle here is another, she's a sensitive and she sees quite a bit of stuff here. As you know, we've got permission from a bunch of the Airbnb people to go through some rooms, so you're going to see some neat stuff because Blair's really got this place decorated out like crazy. Each room has a theme, so if you aren't here at the Airbnb and you want something fun to do for a weekend, his room's pretty cheap. I mean, come on. And if not, he does a coffee house here every Thursday night. It's $3 admission, pretty much all you can drink coffee and tea. A lot of times he'll set cookies, they'll have some kind of a movie playing. Usually it's something really like obscure that you'd never find that actually is pretty good. So you'll meet some really neat movies if you come on those nights. Be sure to like us on Facebook, like the Midway on Facebook, like the WIndber Area Museum. All these live videos that we're doing will be saved to the page for further review. So those of you that didn't get a ticket to the museum, if you want to review, that's great. Comment on the video if you see anything, because hey, our eyes may miss something. You never know. As far as our light workers or psychics go, I just want to let you know that every psychic does not always see the same thing. Spirits, just like regular people, they don't like you, they're not going to talk to you. So I'm non-psychic, but we're just going to do an example. Say like, there's a ghost here between Renee and I. They don't like me. They might not even show themselves to me, but they could talk Renee's ear off, and she'll be like, hey, this person's saying this, and this is like, there's not a soul there. What are you talking about? No, it's not true. If she says it, it probably is. Does anyone here have any psychic abilities?
I think I'm willing to.
I do think you are too, Blair. You're at least an energy reader, if not anything else. There's also different types of psychics. Some can touch an object and see. Some can see directly. Some have clear audio and can hear objects. There's 101. I see a hand back there.
Dreams, like I have
Dreams. That is another one. Clairvoyance.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of different ways to actually be psychic or even sensitive or intuitive. At any point in time, if you have any questions or you notice anything, just to stop the confusion, we're going to ask you just kind of raise your hand just a little bit. I mean, I know we're going back elementary school, but if I've got 5 people shouting out 5 different things, it's going to be a cluster, sorry. So on, let's see here. You said cell phones already, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Like I said, cell phones on silent. If you're going to use a flash, please announce it. That'll be the only time you won't have to raise your hand. Just real quick flash and then snap. If you have at any time to answer a call for an emergency, we just ask that you kind of step out. If you need to leave the group for any reason, whether it's smoke break, a potty break, just let one of your guides know. That way we're not looking around and go, oh crap, did the house eat someone? Not that this house will do that, but you never know with some hauntings. As Blair said, pretty much we're going to have free reign. We're going to ask everyone to stick together. The way Dave and I were discussing this, we're going to break up into 2 groups here. He's going to take a group up to the 3rd floor. I'm going to start here on the 1st floor. We're going to go for about a half hour or so. And then my group will end up taking a break. We'll stay either in this area or outside if you need to smoke. We'll go on the laptop here. We'll show some of our videos and some of our equipment. We'll go over just some of the previous things we've had. We've got a really good video from Moundsville. We've got a thermal camera that we didn't bring today. We weren't able to, but we've got video footage from that just so you can see how that looks, how the Connect system works, that kind of stuff. After that little break, my group is going to go to the 2nd floor. Dave's is going to take a break, and then he's going to do the 1st floor, and we're going to do the 3rd floor. And that's how we're pretty much going to break it up tonight. So, going with Dave and Brandon, I have a Teresa +3 and a Rick +1. And then I'm going to have Brian and Tiffany. I've got someone whooping in the back there. And who else was Airbnb here besides my Beatnik girls, because they're with me? Oh, my Shakespeare people. Yep, we're gonna have. Do you guys want to stick together, or do you want to split up?
Kind of other stick together.
Okay, then I'm gonna have you go with the boys here. Or Randy.
If I can add one more thing, if by chance you guys take pictures and you think that you might have caught something after this event tonight, we got business cards on the table there. If you can send those pictures to us, we can analyze them, see what you got, and we can go from there and contact you back. So.
Any evidence we catch is going to be posted online too, so sometimes spirits are shy in large groups, sometimes these ones here tend to be a little bit sociable and like to act out when there's groups going on. And from what I'm hearing from our light workers and psychics here, they are wound up to high heaven. So we might actually have a really good night, but I can't guarantee anything. Sorry. All right. So anyone I didn't mention, you're stuck with me. All right. Does anyone have any questions before we break up and get all started here? Okay. Did I miss anything, Dave? Alrighty. Those watching on the Facebook Live here, we're going to take a quick pause in this video because my cell phone has a much better camera than that tablet, and we need to have a better camera if we're going to walk you around this place.